Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mats. I am a tarot reader and a numerologist, amongst others. And even if in the video just before I made the same introduction in a certain way, I would like to repeat it here for people who are just watching this video. It is a video about a reading based on the Luo Shu and the taoistic numerology along with tarot, which is nicely fitting one into another. The Luo Shu is the square that is also known as the Saturn square, magical square, and a lot of people may know it from feng shui, where it is used to show the different parts of your building. But in the taoistic numerology, I think that it goes even deeper in a certain way. So I just want to give you a slight insight. What is the difference between Western numerology and taoistic numerology? So to get the idea in a very simple way is Western numerology, you have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in one line. Okay, a little bit as if you were just using your left hemisphere. Or you can put them into a circle, and then you can say, okay, when you are up to the 9, you come back to the 1. And yes, this idea from the 9 begins the 1. You also find it in taoistic numerology, but the difference is far, far bigger, or there are more differences concerning that part than there are similarities. So what is happening when we come up to taoistic numerology? Some may have seen this squares. As I said, in the feng shui it's used, and here we also go into that direction. As you can see, the numbers are not in a circle, they are not aligned in the same way, but you have like a dance through the squares, and actually they call it the dance of the stars. And along with the idea of the different steps going into all directions and that way interacting with each other, they are linked to the elements, the 5 elements of the traditional Chinese medicine, which is again different from our idea of elements, where we have 4 elements. 4 is like something that may be stable, that gives you a base, but if you want to get the movement into it, you need the 5. And even in the Western numerology, the 5 has this aspect to get you out of your comfort zone. And this is actually what is something logical and normal to Far Eastern cultures. So they are not sticking in this comfort zone over 4, but they need the movement. They see the cycle in all this, they see the movements, and this is what is going to give us the possibility to evolve in a certain way. So as you can imagine, my positions for the cards that I'm going to use are those 9 positions, just the way they are shown here, and linked to the tarot, so I can check concerning the number or the element of the tarot, even if there are only 4 elements, how they are linked to another position than the one you are going to see. Actually, in taoistic numerology and concerning Luo Shu, those are not, they are called a palace. So you will see a palace and a place, it is the same word in a certain way. So we're going to check on the places. But I'm going to bring in a slight idea of the numerology concerning the date of birth. And in the taoistic numerology, there are a lot of possibilities, so you can ask me to do a complete chart just based on taoistic numerology. But here it may be interesting to check on the 4 most important for the reading. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's really the basic of the numerology, and we are going to use that to take a different or a deeper look on the different houses and the different palaces where your numbers are in. So I give you a short idea about the 4 numbers, and so the 4 places that are more important in a certain way, where we can go deeper concerning your own energy fitting into the reading. So those are the four important numbers for the reading. There's first of all the major number. It is the energy that you have as an adult. There is the minor number, which is the energy that a person has as a child, or even in a position of dependency. Just as a child, we have a certain kind of dependency. The number is stress. You can imagine it like this is the moment where there are situations and you don't know, do you switch over to the energy of dependency, or do you stay in your energy as an adult? And then the calculation between those two numbers give you the number of stress, and the root number, that is the energy that you could set as a life goal. And so those are the four numbers, and so also if possible the four houses, the four palaces, places that I'm going to take a different look, a deeper look on it. In your case, actually, I have three numbers because one number is repeating, but I'm going to bring them up the moment I am switching over the camera to show you the reading, so where we go into the reading. So just give me a moment to switch over the camera, and then I'm going to use the cards, and we are going to make the reading. So let me bring in the cards that I have drawn, and the same moment that I'm going with the ideas that I'm putting out the cards, I'm also explaining the positions concerning the numerology of a taoistic numerology, and so the houses that are sort of slightly more important concerning your situation. As I said, there are three numbers, so three houses for you, because your stress number and your root number are the same. But I'm coming to this as I go along. So the first position, let me do this the right way. The first position is the number one, logically. I'm not going to tell you something special there, but I'm going to put them the way you have seen the arrows and the numbers on the square of Luo Shu. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So actually we start here. This is in a certain way the outcome, and I'm going to tell you this immediately. You asked, due to your situation and your health situation, you asked what would be a good job for you to bring. I am not sure that I can give you a complete idea and result and solution for this. This is logical because there are so many work ideas and jobs and so on. So this is most definitely not what I can give you as a result and what the cards are there for. Therefore, you should go to someone who can offer you jobs, who you can be in contact with to find out what fits, what are the needs, because I don't know the need of every kind of job. But I'm trying to give you a complete look on the situation, on the steps that can be done for you to go into a direction where you will find a job that not simply fits, but where you can live with in some way, where you have maybe even fun during the job. So first of all, maybe there are some barriers that can be taken away, that there are some hurdles that are still in your way, and this may give you an idea of how to handle exactly those parts. So we start with the first position. The first position, the one in the Taoistic numerology is the symbol and is the number of water. So it has first of all a lot to do with the subconscious, with the part that is inside of ourselves more than going outside. And this is exactly where we should start a little bit, in the way also if you start building a wish, the first thing, even if you work on your wish later on, is the thought, the idea that comes. So all this starts actually at this place. So it is still this idea of a number one, but on the other hand, it is far bigger in a certain way. As it is as it goes along with the idea of water, you also have the idea of flow, and there you have both of them. So are you going with the flow, or is the flow something unconscious, and you are just swimming along and you do not feel okay anymore with that? And the card that you have on this place is the Eight of Swords. And you see, actually, in a certain way, the light is here in this form of spirals. So you can say that there is a flow already on the card, but your eyes are bound, so it is not for you really possible to see it. So even if someone takes away the blindfold, you're turning the back on what is possible. And you also see there is a building up there. So those are all the steps, you could say, those are the steps that have to be done to come to this place, to get a kind of work that really fits in that way. What I think personally is very interesting concerning this way the card is drawn is that the swords are split. So you have Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords as card is conflict, and they are also behind you. So maybe there could be a conflict that you are not seeing, but you have the Six of Swords around you, and if you take a normal look, look at a normal Six of Swords, that is the card where the people are in the boat and they are leaving a place. So could it be in all the situation that you are in that maybe the point is that you try to get away from whatever was there, but the same moment you got away from or you try to get away from the conflict that was there, and this is actually that now everything seems to be stuck. With the swords, as we have different elements here, not as the ones of the taoistic numerology, the other point that comes up is that the swords are very close to the idea of metal in the taoistic numerology, because the swords, you could say, the swords in our element of air, because the air, you do not have it as an element in the taoistic numerology. It is the one where you get an idea and you go with that idea. And in the traditional Chinese medicine, metal is the one where you integrate things. So this is the moment to open up and to say, okay, what are the things from my past that I have learned and that I can integrate now, that later on I can use them in a certain way. And the swords are also the metal. Metal is also the element to make boundaries, or to take priorities, and to sift through all the options that you have, and to find out what is really needed and good for me for the moment being. So I am absolutely aware that you say, okay, logically we all need a job in a certain way, so it is not something, this is the first point in the situation. But to get there, it may have something to do with the past, where you say, okay, first of all, there are things I have to get, I have to digest, I have to integrate, I have to let go, to make all those all this work before you are ready to see maybe opportunities for a work that are offering to you, because you are not in the situation right now to see those opportunities. The next position is the Two, and Two is earth. The element of the second position is earth. It is yin earth, so it is the soft earth, the soft soil where you can put something in, where you start your plan. And just the way that this first idea, this first spark, you have to put it somewhere so it can evolve, it can develop, and you have to let go of it in a certain way, so it can develop with your certainty behind that it will work. It's the same way as if you put a seed in the soil. If you dig it up every day to see if it is starting to grow, it will not grow because you do not let it go. And I fully understand concerning your situation that maybe you are going on and thinking, when will I get a job? When will I get a job? But exactly this is what keeps it maybe from developing, or from the idea to develop and showing up as a result and as an offer to you. Here we have the Three of Pentacles. So with Pentacles, we are in the same element. And here the person is working with it. And you have people around the person, and the person actually has to concentrate on on her or his work at that moment, and not maybe on what other people are saying. So I wonder if people are telling you, even if you go into a direction and say, oh, this is something I would like to do, if there are people around you who say, no, you cannot do this, and will keep you or take you away from that concentration again. So in a certain way, that blindfold that you had on the first card may not be your own blindfold, but also the one where people tell you that you will not be able to do so. And here we get into this idea of concentrating on the work, already what you can do. Here I pick up the 3 because the numerology 3 has a lot to do with initiation in the taoistic numerology. So it may give you the idea of to try something new, or maybe you have ideas of trying something new, and on the other hand, that people tell you, no, this is the way life goes, and this is the way that you have to handle the situation, and that you do not get the possibility to get your idea into it, in the whole thing. So a little bit as if here the person is trying to make those ornaments, and they are telling, do this, no, you have to use the hammer like that, and so on, and the person knows exactly what the person can do. So this may give you an idea, not simply if in what you put into the soil, but also to give you the idea of just the way that a gardener knows how to treat the soil so that something can grow, that you just take a step out of your situation in a certain way and say, okay, what are the things I am absolutely aware that I can do them, without anyone else telling you no and you shouldn't and whatever, that you really find out what is it that you can do. And I think this might be something that is very, very important for you. I would like to switch back for a moment to this situation from the first card, because actually your minor number, I wanted to start with the major number, but I want to bring up the minor number. This is the position of the minor number. So as I start with concerning the numbers, I start with the major number. I will come back to this position a little bit later, after the major number. But to give you an idea, so the question that I ask myself the moment I become aware that this is the position of the minor number, and I also know that maybe because of your situation you are in a certain kind of dependency, so it shows really it is a dependency that even if you want to get out of it, for the moment being, the step is not that you have to find the job, but that you have to open your eyes to the fact of dependency, independency. So this might be a subject, but I will come back to that card a little bit later, or the position more as the minor number. Then we come to the number 3. So as I said, here we had the number 3, and now we're switching over to the position, the palace of the number 3. The 3 is young wood. Young wood is like trees, like they don't grow slowly. So this is not the kind of way they are like they turn up like that. I had to laugh about this weekend, because actually I have a very small tree in my garden, which is I don't know, half of my height in the beginning. And from the last week to this week, a friend of mine who always passes by said, whoa, what happened here? And it grew like, I don't know, 10, 15 centimeters. So it made really like a jump, and this is the idea which is behind this energy. It is not something that doesn't show when it's growing. It's like, it turns up like this. And again, we have pentacles. So concerning the numerology and also the energy, Earth is nourishing the tree. So in that way, or the wood. So in that way, it goes together. And when we come to this idea, as I said with the card here, to just take a step backwards and say, what am I capable of doing? You end up with a page of sword, a page of pentacles. Sorry, not swords. And the person is sitting on the book, and I don't say the book now like knowledge that you learned something, but that this knowledge of what you already can do. And now he pops up like out of that book and says, I can do this, okay? And the page is the first one of the four persons, and actually he's the one who wants to start something, and it is on the position of starting something, and it's also starting something new. So maybe whatever people are offering you, and what you believe you can do, the moment you take the time to really check on what you really can do and would like to do, you make pop up with a completely new idea, and just hold it high like the page does here, sort of, hey, I hold this in my hand. I just found out I can do this and I can do this. So I have this knowledge to do it, and now I'm showing and I'm giving this a try. So concerning when you ask the question, to say what is the kind of job that I should take, maybe whatever you have been looking for the moment being was inside of that blindfold, and inside of those swords that are cutting you off of all the options and of this flow. And maybe it comes back here again and is telling you that you have the right to try something you didn't try before, or maybe even nobody tried before. Okay, you have the right to initiate something new in this. When I come to the next card, this is the position of wood, yin wood. So this is the small things that grow, that people do not see coming, but that gives also to the earth, actually gives the possibility to strengthen it and to keep it together. So things like grass and so on, this is considered, if I'm taking it really into nature, this is considered this kind of energy. And now that you pop up with an idea, you are brought to this card. And here we have the Lovers. And the Lovers for me is never a card concerning, how should I say, that this has something to do with loving, but it has a lot to do with decision. And to understand decision, the word itself I think is very interesting, because actually the word decision means that there was an incision before. There was something that was cut into half before, and now because of the decision, it is going to be brought together again. So again, maybe you have one idea here and one idea there, and maybe this is the moment to say, okay, slowly I can develop, as you are in the new things, as you have the page here, maybe it is to develop something slowly into something new that fits for you, that is only particular made for you. And it is a major arcana, but I'm going and pick up the number anyway, because it is the number 6, and the number 6 is a position that will come back later on. So I'm going to put it to the number 6 of the palace of the positions in the cards itself. So this idea, and I am, again, please understand me well, I am absolutely aware that I cannot make a place and a job appear for you, but this is really showing you that now those are the baby steps that you can do and that you have to do, not to find maybe a job, but to create a job that is absolutely perfect for your situation. Then we come to the position 5, and the 5 is the position of your number, your major number. So this is actually 5 is the number where your energy is in when you are in a fully grown and not how should I put this, not dependent position. Okay, so actually this is where you're switching back and forth in a certain way. And the number 5 is in the taoistic numerology, and in the Luo Shu it's quite interesting, because when I got this teaching, one of the things that the teacher picked up was, if you check on people who are using the Luo Shu as Bazi for feng shui, then it's the worst of the places. Oh no, not the 5, not the 5. And you have 2 points in it. So actually it's the place of the emperor. So the emperor is in the middle of the whole thing, and he can ask for everything, not simply from the palaces around, but also from above in a certain way. So he's the one who's taking the energy from the sky to the earth to materialize things, to fill and to nourish all the other houses. So on one place, he's the one who has the right to ask for things and to take them in a certain way for granted, but on the other hand, he is also the one who needs to be flexible around to take care of all the other ones around. And here you have the King of Wands, and it's like he has a mirror behind him. So again, he's not taking a look at the mirror. He does not need to take a look in the mirror, okay, because he knows himself. It's a little bit as if I'm taking this, the 3 of Pentacles that we had before, and if you become fully aware, then you can go back to your energy from the energy from before, the position of the 1, which is your minor number, and the number and the energy that pops up the moment when you are in a dependency and in a dependent position. And here we go back into this independent position. So the moment that you become aware, I can do that, and with the wand, sort of the wand has a lot to do with action in tarot. So you get the idea to say, okay, I am still the emperor of my life, or the empress of my life in that moment. I am still the one who has the possibility to take those decisions, and with all that I know that I can do, in a certain way you can take for granted and say, I have the right to ask for something. And if you take the correct decisions and you end up in this position here, then it is like, okay, now I found out through the other cards, what is it what I can do, what is it what I like to do, and now I'm going to ask it. And it's a little bit as if this may be a mirror, but it may also be a doorway that may open the moment that you become aware again that this is your responsibility in your life. And with responsibility, I don't simply mean if things do not work out that it is your fault or something like that, but that you have the right to take back that power into your life, that it is your power, it is your life. And especially with a card like the King of Wands, it's really this, he's not moving around, he doesn't need to move, because if he moves, he may miss something. That's a little bit, a lot of people, when they're talking about wishes they have, I always come up with the idea, have you ever been in a Japanese restaurant where they, you have some restaurants where they throw the food into your mouth, and one of the things that they are always going to tell you is, do not move. We are aiming at your mouth, and if you move around because you think that you need to catch it, then our aim is wrong, not because we are aiming wrong, but because you're moving. And this is a little bit the thing. Find your position, what you can do, what you like to do, maybe something new completely, as it was shown here. Find your decision to bring your things together so that it fits for you, and that you can step out of this idea of dependency, where you do not see the flow, and instead of going with the flow, it's a little bit as if you could say you can let the flow come to you at that moment. And this idea of flow goes even a little bit further if I take a look at the sixth card. So the sixth card is the Ten of Cups. And normally it's a family card and you have a lot of things with the emotion, but I would like to bring it back to the number one because of the 10 first of all. In a certain way, our life, like we have the spiral here, okay? You can imagine it like this. You have a situation and you step into that situation first, and you have no idea about the situation, and you have a certain way to react to a situation. And then you get out of the situation and you make your life, and then again you come into a similar situation. And you may react the second time and say, wait a second, this is deja vu, I had this already. And you go through the situation, and then you go around again and you get again in your life the same or similar situation. And then you say, whoa, we had this already. I tried this first, it didn't work. I tried it a second time, it didn't work. Now I'm trying to try something else. So for me, the 10 in a certain way, with a look at the taoistic numerology, is also this revisited. So sort of, I'm going now with the knowledge I had out of my meeting with that situation before, I will try and try something else. So actually, the situation of the 10 of Cups, which is in metal, brings you back in a certain moment to the place, the position number one, where you had metal with the swords in it. So now this time, you have in the metal, you have water, you have the cups, and you see they are like a flow. And maybe that now with this, I find back my power, and I'm going to reach out for my power before I make the next steps of planifying that job and trying to find that work. I try to find that power. I let this flow, as I said, coming to me. And now you get this, yes, this light beam, this flow actually, that is passing, and where you can go with the flow, not as if here where you could not see the spiral. This is the spiral of the revisiting that is going to show again here. Now we are here in the position of young metal, and young metal is, so not young as old, but yin and yang. And this metal is, that's a tough one, okay? This is the one that says no, that is the one that cuts, that can be very harsh, and that can be very even harmful and hurtful in a certain way, also towards other ones, towards ourselves, but also towards other ones. But it is nourished here, nourished with the flow, so it is still part of the Luo Shu. So it is not something that we can, or that we should cut out. In a certain moment in our life, it is needed. So maybe this is, if there are people who kept you in the idea, oh no, you cannot do this and you cannot concentrate on what you're doing, or who keep you in this situation of dependency, maybe this is the moment where you can say, if I don't say clearly cut and no to the other ones, and in a respectful way, you can keep it respectful, because it is not necessary, sometimes it's not needed to hurt other ones, but you will never have the possibility to be sure that the other one will not feel hurt. Okay, so if you keep your tone respectful and the other one feels hurt, then it's not your pain and it's not you inflicting the pain. And so that you get the look clear for where is the boundary, where is the border, where am I saying no, and where is the moment where I say this is enough. Okay, this is the place where I say stop what other ones do, and even if they want to help, but sometimes people are not helpful in what they are doing. This is a fact, okay? This is the kind of true and harsh fact that comes along with the matter. It's not that you are not nice against the other people, but sort of, okay, let me try and do my thing, and don't stand in my way just because you believe that you can help at that moment. So this comes along with that card in a certain way. And it goes further. So now that we have the metal in a rough way, in this way that it wasn't molded, that it wasn't put into detail and so on. And we go into the position of metal yin, which is the one where you see the details, where you see the beauty in it and so on. And now we come back to earth. And here you see now where we had, so we had one idea, we had 1 point here, 1 seat here, we had 3 here, now we have 9. So the 9 is already coming to the place of the last card, which is the fireplace, the place where light is being shone on the whole situation and on your result. So here it starts showing up in a certain way, and we have actually even wood in it, you know, and all this what you can work out here in the wood turns up here. Now we start having the details, we have new ideas coming up, maybe new opportunities coming up in this whole thing, and you have to find out the details. So maybe now that you are finding out who you are, where you are positioning yourself, opportunities are coming, and now you can find out, okay, if I have 2 offers, what are the details that make that I will take that offer on and not that offer, for example. So now this comes up, but as I'm saying, there is no direct way in what my offer will be. And from the 7 we go to the 8, and the 8 has a lot to do. So the 8 is earth again, but it's young earth, and it's the mountain. So this is the position to check, to say, okay, what is going to be built up? Something that is becoming strong, and also something that is becoming lasting. So not to get a job here and there, but to go really to that idea that you are going to find or to create a job where you will stay in a certain way, where you know that now it is not something that you have to restart a search again later on. When I just bluntly take the card in itself, and I say that there is a justice card, even if I don't know your capacities, your knowledge and so on concerning the law or so on, but maybe it shows a little bit that it may be a situation or a job where you do not need to move, but there are decisions that you can take and make in a certain way. So again, you have the sword. So we are still in this idea of taking boundaries. What is yes, what is no. If I take it to the idea of the card and the position in itself, then I also go to this idea, the decision that came up here with all the opportunities, it has to be made at that moment, or it can be made at that moment, and then the decision will be one that is being kept for years, and it's not something you need to come back again and say, okay, we have to do all this all over again in that moment. And then we come to the last but certainly not least card, and this is actually also the position of your stress situation, of your stress energy. And this is quite interesting. I will explain something to the last position later on. So here we have the 7 of Swords, and I know that a lot of people, when it comes to the 7 of Swords, get this idea to say, yes, someone is stealing something from me. This is not correct, because actually we are talking about thoughts, we are talking about that part of it. So we're not talking about something physically being stolen. So those are interpretations that come up with the time. It's a little bit like the 3 of Swords that is considered to be a feeling card, but it's a sword card, so with thoughts. So this is for me the same way. It doesn't have a lot to do with the idea of someone stealing here. but it gives you an idea, it gives you a look, and it brings light to the outcome of the whole situation. And the person runs away with three swords. I explained that the three is a position of initiation, so of something initial. So you take now the initial idea and bring it forth, and you get the courage to bring it forth and say, I would like to do that. And you leave four swords. You see, the swords are split again like before. You leave four swords. Four swords is you get out of that stagnant position concerning tarot cards that you have on the four swords. You get out of this. So this is the first action, and the first action has to start in your thoughts because of the swords. It is metal, so it has to come with this idea to cut things, to take the boundaries, to take the priorities also. What is your priority? What is your first and prior step that you are going to do? And only then I'm getting back to the seven of swords. So this is actually a seven of swords, the position in itself, because it's the number seven and it's metal. So you have the right to just bring forth in the beginning one detail, sort of, okay, I don't have the big plan, but this detail is important to me. This detail is important for me to create my way to a life out of a sort of dependency, which brings me into the position of where I can ask for things to come to me, to let the flow come to me. This part, you can bring it in at that moment. So what is important at the moment that you have all this cleared out in a certain way, that it is important that you speak it out. What is the first idea, the first step you would like to do? So at that moment, maybe you are also going to bring people to you who are going to listen to you and not just keep you inside of this, keep you cornered maybe in a certain way, so that way people also understand what it is, what you think you need, because maybe there is not enough communication in the whole situation, so that people around you can offer you things or can help you the way you really need help. Therefore, you have to clarify the situation first. And at that moment, I would like to come back to this position, because actually your root number, so actually, as I said, the energy you should people should try to reach in their life is the same as your major number. So this idea that you get a certain independency, and that exactly in that point is also the idea of being capable of nourishing yourself and being capable of nourishing other ones, may give you an idea of where you're heading for. And at this moment, I would like to pick up just an idea, just like that. I don't know if you remember that in the beginning, that some time ago, we made already a reading, and you made a reading for me. And I just would like to pick that up at that moment. And you also explained that you just do that for people, like this, a little bit like a hobby, and not. And I just want to bring that idea into the game and asking you, aren't there people around who would pay you for it? Just like that. I would like to leave it open, and maybe you would like to revisit the video with that idea in mind and check how the cards then and the messages then cling to you and feel to you at that moment. At this moment, I would leave it like this. If there are still questions, you can always come back to me. I hope this brings you something where you can work with, and at that, thank you for your trust, and well, maybe we hear from each other.